going to get crushed.
Absolutely.
And I don't like it from a competitive perspective because it actually does. Because, like, say that there's a team that's waffling about tanking for the first half of the year, and then the reality hits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, those teams, they play the second half of the year, if they make a decision to tank, have then gained a competitive advantage over other teams that may have played them more in the first half.
Yep.
Right? And that, I think that's the moral hazard of tanking for the league. And the league's trying to figure it out, but they just don't have a good solution to it.
Yeah.
They really don't.
And I'm with you. As a competitor, as an athlete, right? What does Herm Edwards say? You play to win the game. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Every time you're on the court, on the field, on wherever, you compete to win. But ultimately, for these franchises, what is the goal? The goal is to bring your city championships, right? I mean, for them, it's to make money, but how do they make money? By winning, right? More butts in the seats, more sponsors, more everything. So
Yep.
That's the goal. If that's the goal, and to your point, if you know you can't win the championship with the roster the way it's constructed right now, I felt that they should have tried to salvage Anthony Davis for whatever they could. Now, I don't want to focus.
And that's tough.
It is. It is. It's especially if you, and I think ultimately that's my advice, right? If the Mavs front office is looking for advice, my advice is to take off the rearview mirror. Forget how he got there. Forget what you had to pay, what Nico paid for Anthony Davis. Just get what you can because he is not part of the long-term solution. He's just not. Kyrie, maybe if he can come back completely healthy, maybe you have another 2, 3, maybe 4 years, good years left in Kyrie.
I still think so that you trade him to someone who needs him to win.
Kyrie or Anthony?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
But Kyrie more particularly.
Yeah.
And man, it's a tough call.
It is.
I get it. And there's other sports this applies to as well in American professional sports. But yeah, you start building around. You make every decision you make, and you're gambling on the health and development of Flag when you do this. Okay.
Yep.
Is built around making sure Cooper Flag has the tools around him, the partners with him, to bring you a championship.
Yeah. What you don't want as a franchise, and I don't mean to get ahead of myself, but making this comparison here, what you don't want for Cooper Flag is for him to be the lone star on this team, trying to drag the roster, trying to do whatever he can to a championship, because sometimes it gets too much, even for Superman. We're going to talk about that's a little foreshadowing for what we're going to talk about after the break coming up in about 8 minutes. But hey, let's talk about the other side of it. So Luka is banged up.
Yep.
He is, I believe it's a groin injury. I didn't see a timeline. I don't know if it's a slight or a hard pull. I don't know if he's going to be out long, but even when he's on. So look, you remember when it happened, what did I say? You absolutely cannot give up a generational player for any reason at all. For not just a generational, but like a surefire Hall of Famer with the possibility of becoming a top 5 player all time. You just can't trade him, no matter what somebody's giving you. Certainly not what was given, but you just can't do it. And I think I lived through that emotion. I've been a fan of Luka's since we drafted him. I watched him grow up. I followed the Mavs, right? Watched the team get better, watched the team get built around him. So a lot of that emotion was seeping into that decision. But I think now, almost a year out now, I can look at it a little bit more pragmatically. I still will not. I'm not. Maybe in a few years I'll get to that point. I am still not at the point where you say that that was the right thing to do. But I see that lack of defense. I see what is happening to the Lakers, right? Um, how do you? So Luka came in. He came in with a mission, right? He came in fit.
Yeah.
He came in the best shape of his life. I mean, I've never seen him in that shape in the 7 years he was here. But the defense still was not. I mean, he's still getting those steals, but
so he's never going to be a first-team All-NBA defensive player, right?
Just not
in fact,
going to.
He's probably always going to be a net negative defensive player for you. Mm-hmm. Which what we were just talking about with Cooper Flagg, though. Then build to accommodate him, right? Build around that. Get some athletes, some long players. They always talk about length, right, on defense.
Yep.
Get some length with some guys. They don't have to be superstars, all right? But they have to be team first, know why they're getting signed. They are there as defensive players. And you can build around that and win a championship.
And the Mavs almost gave that blueprint to the Lakers, right? That's what the Mavs did.
That's what we're talking about. The Mavs were in the process of doing
it. Yep. Lively,
and
Gafford.
For whatever reason, just decided, nah, we're going to blow this up.
Yeah. So we've given them the blueprint, and to the Lakers' credit, they tried to do it, right? They brought in LaRavia, they brought in DeAndre Ayton, and it just hasn't worked out. It just hasn't worked out. I don't know if it's a LeBron thing. Now, LeBron came back from injury, and he's still, I mean, look, all that GOAT conversation aside, right? I think that even at this point, you know, will I say you have no room to even have that conversation? No, I will not. I mean, he's done great things for a long time. Have a conversation.
No, and the stats back that up. Like, he's been astonishing.
Yes. But so you can have a conversation. But what he's doing right now, when after come back from injury, it's phenomenal, man. It's phenomenal. At his age, to be putting up the stats that he's putting up, coming back from injury in his 40s, just ridiculous. But they're not winning. They're on this cold streak. Now they're still in the playoff picture. I think they slid down to the 6th or the 7th spot right now. But this is not a great trajectory that they're on. And, you know, are things going to change?
Not.
I'm sorry?
It's really not. And it's because of their defense.
Exactly.
Just
it's
straight up because of their defense.
Yeah.
They cannot play defense. They don't have a roster aligned to play defense.
Yep.
It's not a complimentary roster. It's obvious from the outside. I'm sure the Lakers know on the inside. Okay?
They have to.
And they've got to figure out how to fix it. I mean, I say they're sure. I'm sure. But, you know, they do have to act on that surety, as it were. But no, I mean, they've got to figure this out.
Yep. Lost at the Clippers, lost at Phoenix, got blown out at home by Houston, beat Sacramento. And then that was at the end of December. They went through that streak. Then they got some cupcakes, right? They beat Memphis twice and then New Orleans. But then San Antonio lost, Milwaukee lost, Sacramento lost. If it weren't for that Atlanta game, 5 days ago, where they won 141 to 116, right after Atlanta just they decided they're tanking, right?
Yep.
Gave up Young for McCollum and what's his name, so if it weren't for that, the Lakers right now would be on a 6-game losing streak. And these are bad losses, right? Lost to Charlotte, 135-117, with Luka scoring 39 points. So Luka's it's that's what I mean. Like he's putting up his stats. He's putting up 35, 9, and 9, right?
Yeah.
But there's no defense.
No, there's no defense.
They got blown out by Portland last night.
Yeah.
Portland.
Wow. We were talking about the whole thing. It's kind of frustrating because you can only beat the horses. You know, it's dead. I get it. Okay. But you got to figure out how to build a team. Even in the NBA, where there's one player, a superstar is more outsized, and I know where you're going on the football side of it, and we're going to get to that. You still have to build around that guy, and it has to be a complementary team. You just can't. There's no other way to get around it.
Yep.
And Jordan didn't win until he had Scottie Pippen, and
Horace Grant.
And Horace Grant.
And to your point, it wasn't just those guys, and Paxson, and B.J. Armstrong, right? You talk about he had nothing. He didn't have anything. Jerry Reinsdorf and I'm drawing a blank. What was his name? The GM. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
The scowl. They built the team around the talent that they had. They knew they had a superstar in Michael. They knew what he was good at and what he needed, and they brought in exactly that talent, right? They brought in that point forward who could take the pressure of ball handling off of him. They brought in those spot up shooters who could take advantage of that penetration from not just Michael, but from Pippen as well, right? They brought in a couple of serviceable bigs, right? They went through a line of those, right? Started with Bill Cartwright, but then they had, Bill Wellington and what was his name? A couple of those. Just that's exactly the point, right? We don't remember the names. They were serviceable guys who could eat up minutes and eat up rebounds and have a little bit of a defensive presence down below. But that's what you needed. And those guys knew Jerry Krause. I couldn't remember his name. So Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause knew what they had, recognized what they had, and built the team that they needed to around him. And the Mavs, I felt that they were on the way to do it. Right? Obviously, they'd made strides. They'd gotten to the championship and lost. And they were looking good again, even while Luka was missing before they traded him. But yeah, the Lakers, I think they understand it. They've seen that, as I said, they've seen the blueprint from the Mavs. They tried to do it this offseason, but it did not work out. So I almost wonder if they need to trade LeBron and see if they can find somebody who's willing to give them something good.
Yeah, I mean,
for a 41-year-old.
The thing is, I don't know if you got to get LeBron to do that. He's not going to agree to it, right? He likes LA. Like LeBron likes LA.
He does.
And who's going to give you the assets you need?
I mean,
and he wants to take on LeBron.
There's no Cleveland Browns in the NBA, so probably nobody.
Yes. There's no Cleveland or Cincinnati or New York Jets that you can just sit there and take advantage of.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're a little past the break time. I got to tell our listeners about Mandalay Collection. Mandalay Collection is a family jewelry business that originated in Burma 4 generations ago, designing and providing traditional as well as unique and classic jewelry using diamonds and various Burmese gemstones, set in 18 to 21 karat gold. So they've been all over the Southeastern Asia area, but now they are right here in Dallas. You are cordially invited to attend an exclusive showing of Mandalay Collection's beautiful jewelry on Saturday, January 31st from 12 noon until 5 p.m. at the Nilo Hotel in Plano. Check out www.mandalaycollection.com and their Instagram at Mandalay Collection. With that, here's a short break. Actually, a little long break. It's about 6 minutes. We're going to be back. And yes, we're going to be getting into specifically what transpired on the gridiron on the professional side yesterday. We'll get into that. And then we still have to touch a little bit on the championship game coming up in the college world and the two big football games coming up later today. All of that will be right here on Radio Azad and the Sports Spotlight after this break.
This is Radio Azad, where your voice matters.